Two loan officers, same market, same rate, both working hard, but one is building something predictable and one is starting over every single month. I don't know about you if that sounds familiar, but man, I would call that the high highs and the low lows. And I can remember as a loan officer, that was probably the most frustrating part, was the predictable side. It's like, how do I'll never forget, I was in my 20s and I was going to a church in Houston called Lakewood. Actually, that's what brought me to Houston. And I had a great friend of mine, Andrew Keller, and he's a financial planner. We're both the same age. We were both getting started, and we were just doing our thing in relationships. And I said, "Hey, tell me, what's your goal? What's the plan? Like, where are we going to be in 20 years?" And he said, "Man, I want to be managing $100 million in trails or $100 million in assets." And I said, "Well, tell me about that. What does that mean? Like, why 100 million?" And he said, "Because when you manage 100 million, you're making $1 million in trails." And I got to tell you, that was something that really resonated with me because, and since then, he's done well above that and has been wildly successful, sold his company. I mean, just really, really great guy. And I'll tell you, it started me on a journey, and that journey is probably 24 years in the making. That's how long I've been in the business. But it was, how do you get out of the high highs and the low lows? How do you have a predictable income and become a predictable producer? Which means I know what's coming in each and every month based on the activity, based on the metrics, based on the math. And guess what? Based on the predictability. See, here's what I struggled with a whole lot. It was like, well, how do you make a mortgage business predictable when buyers only buy every 3 to 10 years, right? It's like, how do you make that predictable? How do you make it predictable when a realtor may refer you 1 lead this month and 4 the next month? How do you make it predictable? And what we began to realize is that if you're working a plan, the difference isn't motivation. It's not time. It's not even leads. It's actually, first off, transformation to become the person that does the activity to get the results. But predictable is if you do the right activity. And here's the thing. I used to think, oh my gosh, I don't have any more hours to work. No. You have to start with, what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? And then what do I need to keep doing? And there's a whole process behind that, because you're right. You're listening today and it's like, I couldn't add another thing on your plate. You don't need to. We've got to remove the things that are not effective, the things that do not add real results to your business and what you're doing, and then start doing things that help you to become more effective. And I think the first place to start is who you are as a loan officer, because what you believe about yourself and what you believe about your business and what you believe in your thought life and what you think will affect your hands and what you do. You can't truly do something long-term without behavior modification until you become the person that actually does the activity to get the result. And here's the thing. The busy loan officer works hard. The producer works sequenced. The busy loan officer has high highs and low lows and believes it may be the luck of the market, or rates are high, or lost, it's all the agents. The producer, the predictable producer, knows that markets and timing and rates, none of that has to do with the results I've got. Now, does it mean I might lose a few more? Yeah. But if you know the activity that brings the result, then you're not affected by the market. Your activity shifts with the market so that your results continue to be what you know they should be. And here's the thing. A busy loan officer chases the next strategy and the next silver bullet and this, and maybe that'll work in this. But a producer runs the same play 1,000 times. They're going in and they do it the same way every time. They have the same conversations. They run the loan consultation the same way. Every call has a predictable ask for the business, and it's done the same way every time. The busy loan officer is always looking for what's next. The producing loan officer has perfected what's now. And, here's what I'll tell you. Most coaching adds activity to a broken identity. And what we've got to do is we've got to fix the identity first. And what I always say this, you got to fix it while you're running. You don't fix something in our industry, and everybody knows this, you're only as good as your last 60 days of prospecting. And you can't stop and say, I'm going to take 30 days and I'm going to work on my identity and my beliefs and things that are happening. No, you've got to keep doing the activity in a community that helps you stay aligned with what your vision and goals are for your life. And while you're moving, you're being transformed. While you're moving, who you are is becoming what you were called and created to be and do. And so the thing is this, so many organizations teach tactic. And listen, I'm guilty of it. I've done it. But what we're going to teach and what we're teaching is order, because order matters. And when the sequence is out of order, it's behavior modification. See, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's not your fault. Nobody knew. I really believe it's the journey that I feel like God's really been speaking to my heart about. That's the cornerstone. That's the linchpin. That's the missing piece of transformation in your business, in your health, in your finances, in your relationships, in your teams, and how you lead your family and how you lead your teams and how you lead yourself, is that it's not more tactics, it's transformation. And they come as you're doing the work together in a community moving in the same direction. And yes, it is 25 outbound calls. And yes, you've got to have 10 real conversations and 10 ask and 2 relational referrals. But listen, you set the target based on what your goal is and really what your business is built around. But here's the good news is it's not just calls, it's emails. It's the whole big, high-tech, high-touch, low-time activities that accelerate the results. But when you become the person that does the work that gets the results, now it's predictable. And here's the thing. The predictable producer isn't getting smarter. It's really getting sequenced. Identity, math, a structured week, the right list that are the right people, the right conversations that actually convert, and a rhythm is what I call livable. Some of you are running at a pace that's not sustainable. And, I can remember this several years ago. I'll never forget, because I tend to be a workaholic like so many of you. That's what I saw my dad do. He just worked. And my mantra used to always be, you'll never outwork me. And I'll never forget a dear friend of mine. We were together. And what I realized was, you would never outwork me, but there's a better way. And I didn't even see it because I was so close, but my family was beginning to resent the work that I did because of the hours I was putting in and neglecting them. And what we have to realize is this: it's not about busier. It's not about doing more. It's about being the person that has effective activities that leverage your time to produce exceptional and exponential results. And here's the thing, we know the math. We know, and that's the linchpin as well. When you know the math, now it's just a question of, have you made a decision? Or are you still trying to make choices? A decision is, I've decided this is what I'm doing. Come hell or high water. It's how many times in your life it's like you started to work out and it's like, I'm going to do it for 3 months, even if it kills me, right? Because you made a decision. And then you followed through with the decision. And as you began to do the work, you began to be transformed in the person that did the work and started getting the results. And producers didn't get smarter. They got sequenced and in a community and really began to realize there's leverage in order. And so here's what I found too, is if you skip a step, the system breaks. If I try to have the finances and the great months and make 6 figures in a month or 7 figures in a month, but the order of having doesn't match what I'm willing to do, and the doing doesn't match who I am at this point, then that's where the system breaks. And I think that that's where you feel shame and you begin to self-loathe and you go through high highs and you go through low depressions. And it's like, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Nobody told us. You started in the wrong place, right sequence, wrong order. And so I'm excited because this is a new chapter. And I've watched what happens over the last several years with people I've had the opportunity to be close to. I've got these small groups of loan officers, whether they're the ones here with me at ProLending or the loan officers I've had the privilege of being a part of their story for a little while. And what's been amazing is this: you watch the transformation and the ahas that begin to happen. And when you see the math for the first time and you realize my business can be predictable. I remember as I got in this business, it was just, man, here's what I would say. If I knew what to do, I would do it. If I knew what levers to pull, I'd pull them. And what I think is so amazing is that we're building something right now that's going to start in the right order with the identity. It's going to literally go through what we've just talked about, identity, and then uncovering the real math behind a predictable business, and then how to structure my week in a way that allows me to get even more done in less time and have margin for the things and the people I love most. And then are the list of the people that are in and around my sphere, my database, the realtors, are they the right people? And if not, how do we quickly identify the right people that create exponential results? And then as I'm having conversations, am I converting those conversations with the right designed conversations? And am I able to sustain a rhythm that isn't just this week's sprint and next week's sprint and this next week's sprint, but it becomes a sustainable lifestyle to a predictable producer's business? And so here's what I'm excited is I'm going to begin to release something here in the next few weeks that I want to invite you to be on this journey with me. I'm going to have a real conversation with the first 50 people who want to walk into being challenged as peers as we continue to get sharper and better and we move together in a rhythm. And so one of the things I want to do is, if you feel like, yeah, there's a little ups and downs and there's a little bit of peaks and valleys, and man, I can hear the negative self-talk and the negative, and this isn't going to be a raw stuff. We're just going to go through foundational transformation and things that we've been working through for a while that are seeing exponential results. And so I want, for you to stay close to me in this community, and I'm going to invite you. Go to loanofficerleadership.com, and at the top, it's going to say join the movement. We're going to flip that landing page when all this goes live here in a couple of weeks. And I just want you to know, I want to invite you on this journey. And the way you get the first level of invitation is go join the movement. Put your first name, last name, email, cell phone. And then as we're walking this out together, if you didn't hear last week or earlier, the episode right before this, go back and listen to it. Hear my heart. Hear the story of where all of this is coming from. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside.